This is Fortnite running on a 3.6 gigahertz Intel Xeon E5 1620 with 16 gigs of RAM and a NVIDIA GeForce GTX 660 video card. At the moment, I am running it at high settings. If I have time to do so before getting killed, I'm going to try running it at all the different setting levels. I think for this set of hardware, they're really targeting medium. I'm running it at high just to see how well it runs, but I'm going to try it at the other ones as well, just to give you an idea of the frame rate boost. So it is worth noting, on the high setting, it isn't high frame rate, but it is smooth. This would definitely be ideal for people that aren't really playing competitively, but just want to have some fun. It definitely looks good. So let's take a look at what kind of performance we get out of the same system running on a medium setting instead of the high. Still keep it at 1080p. You don't want to run an LCD below 1080p resolution. If it's most LCDs now are 1080p. I guess if it's not, that's different. But generally, LCDs are going to look best at their native resolution. It is what it is. That's the way they're set up. So we're definitely getting a good frame rate boost. I think... So this is a system that pretty much hits dead on Fortnite's recommended requirements, except it's got pretty much dead on the video card, but the rest of the components are quite a bit beefier than what they're recommending. It's got at least double the recommended RAM, and it's got probably double or close to double the recommended processor. So I think you're getting, as you're seeing 60 to sometimes I've seen as high as, depending on how you're playing, 60 to 80 FPS, which I think max 60 FPS is what they're targeting for a system that just meets the specs. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to show is how it runs at the lower setting. So if we can do this without dying again. Again, keeping it at 1080p resolution. So definitely, again, this is a system. A lot of them I don't actually see that big of a variation. This is one that we're definitely seeing a solid frame rate variation based on the three different setting levels. It is worth noting also that unlike systems that struggle to run the game at even the lowest settings, because this is a system that's able to solidly run the game at these settings, it even looks good at the lowest setting. Typically what I find is that systems that really can't even run the game at its lowest settings, when you do turn it to the lowest setting, it looks like garbage. But if you have a system that can run it well from the beginning, it actually will generally look good even at this lower setting level. Apex Legends is the same way. If you're able to run the game well at a given setting or at a higher setting, usually it still looks good at the lower setting. But then if you have a system that can't really handle the game at any setting, it looks like garbage even with the same frame rate. Okay, so just for those that are curious, I'm going to run it at a lower resolution. This may put it in windowed mode. We'll see. I don't think this will auto stretch it, but see if I can get it right at 720. There we go. Okay, so I guess it did auto stretch it. So if you're really looking to push the frame rate, this is a great way to do it. It definitely affects the visual quality very noticeably. Let's try one other thing here. Let's try turning the settings up, but leaving the resolution. Let's try that. See how that works. Actually, let's do this. See how that affects our. So that's one way to get a decent. Okay, so anyway, that should give everybody a pretty good idea of what to expect on Fortnite on a mid-level system at various different setting levels. I hope everybody finds this interesting, and thanks for watching the video.